What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we have an awesome guest here on the channel, my good friend Ty from Instagram, who actually did about 5K in sales, right? Your first month or so.
Yeah.
And that's pretty awesome and better than most people get. Absolutely better than I did my first month. So we're going to talk about what you're selling, how you're finding items, and all that, and pretty much just how you've gotten going pretty quick and should continue to grow quickly in the future. But yeah, so you're a college freshman, you said, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And
Yeah,
so
I'm
5K
19.
sales. Yep. Amazing. Your first month.
Mhm.
I was 20 when I started. I actually posted a poll on Instagram today and everyone thought I was started when I was older, but whatever. So you're a college freshman, about 5K sales your first month. That's going to be in the ballpark of about 1,000 in profit. And
Yeah.
what business model are you doing right now?
Right now I'm doing online arbitrage.
Yeah.
So I'm finding everything pretty much reverse sourcing.
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
everything's coming from like other storefronts.
Yeah.
I've dabbled a little bit in hiring like some people from Fiverr to get like some leads. Like at the beginning, like you need some leads to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
get to some storefronts. So I paid some people like five. You could pay them like $5 for 4 leads.
Really? Okay,
Um,
that's very affordable. That's interesting. So
yeah.
basically, in terms of reverse sourcing, for those of you guys aren't familiar, it's finding an item that you know is arbitrageable, assuming probably the metrics you're using is Amazon not selling it and there being over 3 FBA sellers. So it's not private label, I assume something like
Mhm.
that, right? And then going out and because we know that's an arbitrage product, looking at what the other sellers on that listing are selling because we know they're probably doing arbitrage for those products as well and they wouldn't have stuff listed if they weren't profitable. Obviously, they're selling it to make money and everything. So then going out and looking for those products. So that's essentially what you're doing.
Mhm. Yeah.
And what tools are you using, like any software to go ahead and do that?
So when I first started, it was very difficult because I didn't have SellerAmp. I didn't have actually when I first started, I didn't have Keepa.
Oh, no.
Um, and I was going off like BrickSeek and like it's like if you guys don't know, it's a site where you can find like deals and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember being up all night just looking and looking. And at first, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. And I was looking for a while. I'm like, wow, this is impossible.
Well, if you're using that
If
method,
I was doing that, yeah, yeah. So then I got Keepa, and then I started like going to different storefronts. That made it easier. And then I got SellerAmp. At first, the first second I downloaded SellerAmp, I'm like, oh, this is annoying. It's like kind of clunky. And then like 20 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is like way quicker because it automatically will show you like the actual product page instead of
yeah,
showing
the
that
Keepa,
seller's particular listing. Yeah.
when you're reverse sourcing, you don't have to click into a bunch of individual listings because you can see the Keepa right there. You can see if Amazon's
Mhm.
on it, and then if it makes sense. Another SellerAmp feature I like, and guys, I actually last Monday I posted a video of me live sourcing with SellerAmp, so you guys should go check that out after this one as well. But basically, right, you're looking inside their storefronts, looking at what they're selling, and you're able to source a lot quicker using SellerAmp because it shows the keepa and some of the metrics before you click into the listing. That's the key. And the one-click Googling is very clutch as well.
Yeah. So when you start, you look at the whole SellerAmp and you're like, I don't really know what to look for, and it takes you a while. And those leads you'll get off Fiverr, like they seem really good at first, but now I feel like I'm kind of a pro at it. So I'll look at these leads and I'll be like, they'll send them to you. They'll be like, are these good? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't know, these aren't that good. So now when you scroll down, you're gonna want to look for like keeper charts that are like almost flat. So
Yeah.
if I see anything that has like any bumps or anything, I just pass on it. Like some people will wonder why the price is tanking on a listing right after they list it because it doesn't have like a good price history.
Yeah,
So
time. And that's the big thing with Keepa for those of you guys who might not be familiar is it shows data through the lifetime of that product. So if that product's been on Amazon for 4 years, you can see the price history, the supply, the demand for that item over time and kind of get a sense of how it moves. I definitely say probably the 90-day range is the most ideal. It's like that's the data you should look at. Don't overcomplicate it too much. And also like test orders. Let's talk about that. I assume you're not going super deep and stuff. Probably on a decently low budget as well right
yeah,
now.
so I remember I was in a live stream with you and you and Warner. And I
Yep.
remember I was asking about test buys, and you guys said 20. I was like writing everything down. Like before I started, I probably watched like days worth of like Warner's videos and your videos. And then on the live streams, just like asking questions.
Yep.
So everything I was buying 20 of. My first item was actually I bought 10 of. and that actually got lost. It still hasn't been found.
They'll
Yeah,
figure something
I
out.
can
But
reconcile it actually in 2 days. Actually,
happen a lot. Like that, I don't think I've ever had a full box loss, to be honest. And I've sent, I guess, probably thousands of boxes at this point. But either way, like high hundreds of boxes over the years.
yeah.
Definitely.
So that was my first one. That was only $100. It was 10 sure, but it was, well, yeah, it's 10 items. I could say what it is because the price tanked already, but
Don't. I had no need to. Well, categorically, like what type of fraud?
it was just like baby clothes. So
Okay, cool.
it
And
was like,
you were ungated off that from the rip, or?
this is what's really interesting about Ungating is I don't know if it's just me particular. I bought my 10 items from Frontier Co-op to get ungated in grocery, and I go to get ungated and it says request approval. I hit the button and it immediately ungates me.
Dang, auto. So no need. You guys got to check when you're going to ungate products prior to ordering the item. You got to see if you're auto
The
ungated.
funny thing is, that happens with me with essentially everything. If anything I'm gated in, I just hit the button and it takes me off. Only thing, Nike, Adidas. I was just looking at some wholesale products and like particular brands.
Yeah.
Like it won't let me, but most of them it'll just auto ungate me, which is like
Yeah, people sleep
yeah.
on if you guys are in our free Discord, we have an auto ungate sheet. I'm pretty sure that shows a lot of the more popular ones. But so what all categories have you sold thus far? Because then we'll get a sense of what the auto ungates actually worked as well. Done.
So it's tough. I pretty much there honestly, when I'm looking through these storefronts, there's nothing I can't sell unless it's like Nike or Adidas. Like I'm gonna be honest, I can sell pretty much everything because I like
beauty.
that's the great thing about SellerAmp. It'll tell you exactly what you can and can't sell.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, grocery is like where most of my profits come from.
And how'd you originally find Amazon? That probably should have been my first question, but you've only been at it for like around a month, right?
So over Christmas break, because I'm in school, so I was home for Christmas break. I got into drop shipping. So I made like a drop shipping store. It's funny, like a lot of people that like try drop shipping, then they end up at like Amazon.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
It's right. You were trying stuff. That's the key. You were trying stuff, but not to interrupt the story.
Yeah. So I was selling I don't know if you've heard of like you've seen those shower heads in those videos. Like
those are popping on TikTok.
Yeah. So I made a store. It was like really good, and I got like a couple sales in one day. But that's like you have to spend a bunch of money in ads and optimize it, and like optimizing the Facebook ads, like it was like such a pain. And I could probably figure it out if I put hours and hours into it, but I'm like, I don't want to. Then I saw a video about Amazon, and it was like super confusing at first. I'm not gonna lie, like I remember thinking about it, and I didn't even realize there was other sellers on the listing. So I was just completely lost. Like I see people asking questions, and it's easy when you're experienced to be like, oh, that's like common sense. But when you start out, it's so confusing. And I remember like I had to watch when I found Warner's videos. That was the one thing that finally made it click. Like before that, I literally did not understand at all what was going on. I would watch like video here and videos there, and people were talking about private label.
Yeah.
I never tried Amazon because I always thought you had to have like at least 1,000 units. Somewhere in my head, I thought that Amazon required 1,000 units of everything, and I'm like, oh, I don't have capital for that.
But yeah, and then that's the thing. You had these preconceived notions, but you had never tried it, so you never saw. Right? We just had a live stream. This guy was asking like, when I'm creating an Amazon account, does it require this? And I was like, go create an Amazon account and you'll find out because you have to do that anyway. You know,
that's actually the thing. So I made my Amazon account over Christmas break. The second I made my account, it probably took like they asked for a bunch of documents, of course, like they want to make sure you're serious.
Yeah.
So I submitted everything, filed my LLC. It took a month to get my LLC. Once everything was in, I filed without the LLC first.
Yeah, that's what
I went to change from I didn't do a pro seller account at first. I did a normal account.
Oh no.
And then I went to switch it to pro, and then I switched it to pro and changed my email at the same time.
I deactivated
it locked me. It deactivated me.
Always, guys, I'm interrupting. Yeah. It's so important. If you're gonna change your address, credit card on file, whatever, you gotta call Amazon and just let them know. It's it honestly is kind of it sucks, but it's kind of hard to even find the number. But you have to kind of click around.
Yeah.
You call them, then it's easy. You let them know I'm changing this. They're like, okay, cool, right? Because that happened to me when I was starting. Wow, I guess 2.5 years ago or so, and I got deactivated pretty quick too. And it's obviously temporary. I think they even say in the email, it's like, we're deactivating this for a few hours to make sure it's you or something like that.
Actually, mine was way more like serious than that.
No.
So they deactivated me for verification purposes. I resubmitted everything. They said they rejected it. And keep in mind, every time I submitted something, I had to wait 24 to 48 hours.
Oh,
So it took 4 appeals. And after each appeal, even the 4th appeal did not work. I hired someone on Fiverr for $70. I paid someone on Fiverr $70 to write me a really good appeal letter. Like,
you love Fiverr, man.
The English was a little bit spotty. I had to refine it a little bit, but so I submitted that. That did not work. I didn't hear anything back. I remember hearing people talking about emailing Jeff Bezos, and I'm like, well, that's nonsense. Why would I like email Jeff Bezos? It's not going to do anything. I emailed Jeff Bezos, and then like I don't remember the timeline. It was like I think it was a week later. I got an email, and they're like, okay, your verification appointment is set. Show up to this video call, show us your documents, and you're good to go. And then I did it, and I finally got my account. Keep in mind, this is a month later. So throughout this whole process, people are telling me like, oh man, it's a lost cause. Like, why are you still submitting appeals? It's nonsense. Like, they're obviously not going to let you in. If they deactivated you, they don't want you selling on there. Like,
yeah.
But I'm like, this was like super upsetting too. Cause I'm like, this is the thing. I know Amazon is like a profitable way to make money. And I'm like, I just can't get an account. And I was like, I was so upset about it, but I just like kept doing it and kept trying. And the second I like got activated, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, that was like the best day of my life.
All right. And you've made money since and only going to keep going up. And you were kind of the ideal social media connection in that I don't think you initially hit me with like, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? You learned on your own, even though it was from, my content, some of our other friends' content, all that. But you hit me with the results immediately. It was like, hey, look, I just did this. And I called you right away, I think.
Yeah.
This dude, I want to get to know this dude.
I think that was my first week. I think it was 4 days in, and I was at over $1,100.
And were you merchant fulfilling, or were those that was your
first? That was FBA.
sales?
My first item I sent in. The second I sent it in, I think I sold 8 units in 30 minutes or 7 units in 30 minutes.
The rank must have been disgusting.
3,000 units a month.
Jeez, yes, you got lucky with the buy box too. They took care of you after giving you a lot of hardships and stuff like that.
Yeah, it stinks because like over time, like that price has tanked a bit. Like, it still makes money, but the days when all of my items hit, I had an $850. I think it was $870. I had an $870 day.
I remember. Yeah, you, and that's the thing, right? When you buy good stuff, good results happen because you put the sweat equity in to learn all that stuff, which takes time, right? I think I said reverse sourcing is the best way to source. It's also by far the hardest. That's why people don't want to do it. They want to pay other people for items.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. I did that when I was starting, but now I just keep a SellerAmp and I'll go hard. I don't even have any VAs. I just do it all myself for whatever reason. And are you doing all your own sourcing right now?
Yes, and it's harder than beginning, and it gets easier, but it's never gonna be like easy. Like, honestly, I still spend every day. I probably spend a few hours at least. Like, some days I'll just sit and I'll source for like 8 or 9 hours.
Jeez,
I suggest you make a big spreadsheet. I have mine. I call it the FBA master sheet, and then on it I put, even if an item is like kind of good, I'll put it on there. I'll put keywords like maybe low volume. Like, I'll put the offers look a little funky on this. Like, I'll note every single thing because sometimes I'll go back, or if it's not in stock, I'll put it on the sheet and I'll check back stock later. And that's paid off because one of my best sellers, I actually sold like a bunch of units of it today. I think I sold 5 yesterday and 5 today. And it was an item that wasn't in stock on the site. And I put check stock, and now I've been selling that one ever since. It's like a replan. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a compounding effect to that initial stuff, and just as you go, right? Because if you find an item that a good sign of a replan, I'd say obviously there's a lot of nuance to it. It's something you're buying that isn't on sale. It's just chilling on a website. It's profitable, whatever. Obviously, other people see that, whatever. But that it has the potential to be a replan because it's not on a big sale, and therefore one can assume it's going to be at that same price on that site for a while. So assuming the profit stays the same or it dips, rises, whatever, you're going to be able to purchase those again in the future. And that's that compounding effect, right? And then everyone else that's on that listing is also good at OA sourcing in the same way you were able to find
Yeah,
them
yeah,
they were. So then you can go start looking at that. That was really fun. Thanks for coming on kind of last minute here, but I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah,
was very valuable for beginners, definitely. And so if you want, I can put your Instagram in the description, and anyone
yeah,
who's
sure.
been talking, you can chop that up. FBA Instagram account coming soon potentially.
Yeah, possibly. I think once I hit 10K a month,
All
I'll
right, sounds
make
good.
it. Yeah,
Sounds good. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. Glad you're chopping it up, coming on for the beginners and everyone watching. And thank you guys for watching as well. Posting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday to help you make more money on Amazon. See you guys in the next one.